Welcome to the Nursing Post podcast, All Nursing All the Time with Ashley Moore and Rosa Horsley. Today starts National Nursing Assistance Week, and what a better time to talk about CNAs and how they impact nursing care. Our goal is always to inform and start conversation.
We want to start this podcast by saying that we understand that a lot of CNAs go underappreciated, and sometimes we as nurses do not do a good job showing CNAs how valuable they are in care of patients. And we're doing something a little bit different with today's episode, and we wanted to take time to talk with some CNAs. We are going to share the conversations that we hope that you find to be informative and inspirational.
My name is Tammy Grant. I grew up in a little small town called Prospect, Virginia. I was reared by my mother, my maternal grandparents, and paternal grandparents. Graduated Prince Edward County High School in 1981 and had to decide what I was going to do. I am the oldest of 4 children, the oldest of 9 grandchildren. My mother at that time, a factory worker, was unable to assist me with college, so I had to find other areas that I could work in. Coming out of the household with my grandmother, who had always been the caretaker of the family. She took care of my great-grandmother from the time I was born until I was about 7 years old. And then my grandfather's sister was also brought to our home, and my grandmother took care of her until she was unable to take care of her. Being a CNA kind of came natural for me because I grew up in a background of knowing how to take care of people.
You were kind of brought up in that generation.
Yes.
And sometimes I feel that's also like a cultural thing. There are some families that believe against sending their family to
my family is definitely one of those.
An ALF or a nursing home. How do you feel working in an ALF?
I'm very proud to be a part of an ALF. My reason simply being is because I get to give back to the elders of the society. I'm pleased with being able to see a simple smile, hear a grateful thank you, see them not only decline, but in some points of their life ascend, because things do change for them, and I'm very pleased to be a part of it and to get to see
that. I love that you say ascend. CNA Appreciation Week is coming up. Out of all your years of being a caretaker, what has been one of your worst experiences?
The first time that I experienced death with someone that I had become very close to, who took me as family, who I took as family, and watching them give up. Well, I said give up then, but now I say that he had lived a full life. All of the things that he enjoyed and set out to do, he did. With God accepting him and taking him home, it was just the end of the journey.
What would you say is the best experience that you've had?
The best experience comes every day, because every day I learn something different. The residents are very educated. They all hold a different story. They're willing to share their stories with you. They listen, they care, they miss you. They're very complimentary on your dress, on every part of you. So every day is a good day because they make it a good day. It wouldn't be the same without them, and I don't think for them would it be the same without the CNAs.
Absolutely. Everybody, I think, during the pandemic gave most of the appreciation to doctors and to nurses. How did that make you feel?
I didn't feel that it was fair because doctors and nurses are not in the assisted living. They're not in the nursing homes. CNAs, RMAs, and an occasional, shift nurse. We had to work and keep the staff going, the residents going, when it went to quarantine and they had to stay in their rooms and they didn't understand why.
I know when I came in here, you guys were without a DON. Your ED had retired and everything was spotty.
Yeah.
And I know your staff, CNAs, med techs, you guys were the ones that held it down.
Yeah.
Because at that point, you didn't have a nurse.
No, we didn't have anyone.
Anybody.
No one.
So, from the pandemic to now, do you feel appreciated any more?
I feel appreciated from the new DON and the new ED. I still feel like there should have been more in the general eye from
the public,
that also the CNAs, the RMAs, that they carried the weight of the load, because
I
there were a lot of facilities that did not have a DON or did not have an ED because they had contracted COVID. And they were out of the building. The RMAs, myself and another young lady, we both bunked in for 2 weeks straight.
So you guys had moved in here.
Yeah, we moved into the facility for 2 weeks straight, and part of another week to make sure that the building was okay.
The
residents were cared for. They got their medications on time. And that's what you have to do. You know, you have to take it to the next level when you're not sure of what the level is going to be, but you still have to stand in. And I don't feel like it was acknowledged enough for the ones that did that.
The work.
Yes.
So, you know, nurses joke all the time about they're shown appreciation by pizza. That's why, and most of the time, that's what we end up getting. So that's when people say, oh, well, let me buy you lunch or let me buy you dinner. What would you like? My first answer is always not pizza. How do you feel a company should tell and show their appreciation for staff?
I'm not a pizza fan either. It is always the pizza. But there are so many other ways that I feel like you can reach out. A dress down day, maybe 2 days in a month. Spa day, where we can get some school that's teaching to come in. Massages, have them to come in and do the massages here, or gift cards for massages. We have a lot of single mothers here. Maybe give them a Walmart gift card to go buy groceries.
Yeah,
so that
we
they
talked
don't,
about this.
Yeah.
We talked because they were giving you incentives that were monetary.
Right.
Like they would give you a certain amount for each shift that you picked up during COVID. In hindsight, it was to try to show appreciation. However, it ended up being Uncle Sam got more of it than you guys did.
Exactly.
So then here we are trying to figure out, well, if it's not money, what else would you guys consider appreciation? And those ideas are awesome and great. But it's nice to hear it, what you think appreciation is, opposed to somebody telling you how you should be appreciated.
Yeah, exactly. You can hear, oh, I appreciate what you do. You do such a great job. But that's not enough. And I don't want it to sound like I'm being ungrateful, because I'm not. I'm grateful. But we need to feel it. We need to be able to look at it and smile and say, well, this is what I got from doing X, Y, and Z at work. And next month, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And I'm going to get this gift again. Or I'm going to, get this card again, whatever it may be. But you want it to be something that's useful and consistent. Because there are always going to be levels that people are hitting every day that's different from what they hit last month.
Absolutely.
So it does not need to be something that you just do this month and then, oh, well, ain't nobody did nothing. Because if somebody got out of the bed, came to worked every day for 5 days in a week, and then came back and was off too and did it again and did it again, that's something, because this field is not very easy to employ.
No, there's a lot of turnover in nursing, period.
Yeah.
Whether that's a CNA, a med tech, a nurse. I mean, at this point, we're even feeling it on the scale of doctors that are, jumping from practice to practice to practice. On an end note, what would you tell anybody who's wanting to be or consider being a CNA or a med tech?
The first thing that I would say is, don't listen to the hype. You will hear people say, well, all they do is clean butts, and I'm not cleaning any butts, and I'm not doing this. But the one thing that they don't tell you is that the feeling that you get when you go home knowing that you have taken care of a woman that cannot take care of herself, that's embarrassed because she can't make it to the bathroom like she used to, a man that can't walk like he used to and just needs you to kind of guide him and hold his arm so that he can use his walker and feel as independent as he can. Go in with your heart. When you go in with your heart, you'll get back the pleasure that you're desiring.
I love it. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, why you're a CNA, why you chose to further your education to be an RMA, what motivates you?
Hello, I am Simi, and what motivated me the most was how you can look into someone's eyes and see something different, something new, something to be curious about. And the elderly gives you those questions of, what do you think about this and what do you think about that? And then you get their answers of, well, when I was young, and just things of that sort. And then you want to also make sure that if I treat them with love and respect and dignity, someone would do that for me when I get older.
What made you choose this field?
I wanted to be a florist, and I see the elderly as flowers that have bloomed.
I love that. I love that because you had made a statement to me a couple of years ago that's always stuck with me. If you don't water it, it won't grow.
That's right.
Meaning negativity.
Right.
Why such the change? I didn't picture that. That's why I'm asking. I didn't know that's what...
That's how I see it. Those are flowers that have truly bloomed and fragranced all that they have given us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Some give you more
One
than others.
Yes. Yes. But that's how absolutely I see it. And when it becomes time for that flower to pass, you want to know that someone's going to be there with them, with that compassion and love that it took to make them grow, to make them bloom, to make them open up. And so I felt like I'm that person to do such.
I agree that I feel that. I feel that energy and that aura from you. But I love the analogy. I think it's one of the most poetic analogies I think I've heard.
But that's absolutely how I see it and why. I meet all walks of life. We have people that have worked farms, have lived to be 100, and they've seen automobiles, the telephone, the TV, the radio, and then we have some who, have early onset dementia, and, because they're young, you're trying to get all what you can get with them while they're with us for that moment, and that helps you take care of them. That helps you know a little bit more about them, because we truly do go back to what we were when we were children. So if you have a little devilish little person running around, then you better believe their parents was running around looking for them, and it was like, why are you always into something? And they're so much fun. They really are fun. We got some that aren't as fun. And
well, there's always some. I feel like you have to love harder than others.
Yes.
I think that in life about people in general.
Yes.
So it doesn't surprise me, even in the elderly, you still have to love some more than others. You worked through the pandemic, as most healthcare professionals did. Every time I turned on the television, I saw where, physicians and nurses were receiving a lot of the accolades. How do you feel about that?
I feel as though in everyone's eyes, everyone sees healthcare as one big group. So they don't, separate the CNA and the med person from the other higher alphabets. How about that?
I love that. Okay.
Yeah,
Did you feel during that time like CNAs, med techs went unnoticed, under the radar?
In some cases, yes.
And how did that make you feel personally?
Personally, I'm not in it for the accolades.
The accolades.
I'm not. I'm in it for the people. I'm in it for my coworkers. So personally, it
didn't bother you?
No, it didn't. I felt bad for others who it bothered, but me personally, no.
I feel as if people didn't place
enough emphasis or appreciation on assisted livings and long-term cares.
No, they did not. And that's sad because we are a population that is ever growing.
Absolutely. People get older every day.
Yes.
I think a lot of disparities kind of happened throughout this last year with the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things have been brought to light. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping going forward that would change.
I'm assuming that it will. We all must live and learn, not
Absolutely.
just live.
Yeah,
just live
absolutely.
And learn.
As a med aid, how do you feel you should be appreciated? Instead of me telling you how you should be appreciated, how should we appreciate you in the words of Semi?
We just should just continue to just love and just be patient with each other. You have to always have an open mind. Never a closed mind, because you won't get far.
I agree with you, absolutely.
So when you say I appreciate all you do, I truly believe that with all of me.
Oh, I love you.
I really do. I truly believe it with all of me.
In the spirit of CNA Appreciation Week,
mm-hmm.
What would you say to anybody who's going to school to be a CNA or an RMA or who has just finished school? What are Semi's words of wisdom to the baby CNAs and the baby RMAs?
Be true to yourself. Always look your client in the eye. Always address them with such love and care that you would want for yourself and your loved ones. And just know that there's nothing but good things ahead.
Thank you, Semi, for letting me do the interview.
You're so kind of welcome.
A lot of the times we tend as nursing professionals and healthcare professionals to assume what others want as appreciation. I've learned that the best way to know how someone feels appreciated is by asking them directly. Take the time to sincerely listen to your coworkers and employees. Validation is also appreciation. I want to thank all PCAs, NAs, and CNAs for all the hard work you do. There will never be any monetary amount that can compensate all the care that you give.
You can always visit our website, thenursingpostpodcast.com, for any information. You can subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, and of course, leave your thoughts, comments there as well. Thank you again for listening to The Nursing Post.